Carl Jung, who once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate," believed that true healing requires an honest look at the parts of ourselves we hide. Have you ever felt like no matter how much inner work you do, you still find yourself revisiting the same struggles? What if the path to healing wasn't about fixing yourself, but about rediscovering the parts of you hidden beneath years of fear, judgment, and conditioning? In this video, we'll explore the powerful connection between Kambo and Shadow Work, a fusion of physical cleansing and emotional integration inspired by Carl Jung's profound insights into the human psyche. We'll unpack why these practices work so well together and explore how to deepen your own self-awareness and healing journey. Shadow work is a journey into the uncharted territories of the self, the memories, beliefs, and emotions we've hidden away due to shame, fear, or societal conditioning. Carl Jung, who introduced the concept of the shadow self, taught that our most authentic self is realized when we embrace all aspects of who we are, especially the parts we resist. The shadow is not inherently negative. It is formed through a natural process of self-preservation. From an early age, we are conditioned to present certain acceptable traits, kindness, politeness, and strength, while exiling others such as anger, vulnerability, or deep sadness. These rejected parts become the exiled selves that shape our fears and insecurities in adulthood. According to Jung, these disowned parts don't simply disappear. They remain buried within the psyche and often resurface through unexplainable emotional outbursts, persistent fears, and unconscious behaviors. For example, an individual raised in an environment where vulnerability was seen as a weakness might suppress their need for emotional connection, only to experience sudden loneliness or unexplained frustration in intimate relationships. This repression becomes a breeding ground for shame and isolation. Self-awareness is the foundation of integration, the process by which we reclaim and reintegrate exiled parts. Kambo, the Amazonian frog medicine, is often cited as a potent tool for purging illusions and distortions, making self-awareness sharper and more immediate. The bioactive peptides in Kambo clear not only physical toxins, but also help unveil emotions and energetic blockages. In traditional practices, spiritual concepts such as truth and distortion are core to understanding suffering. Illusions create a false narrative about who we are. These can often be rooted in trauma, societal conditioning, or even ancestral wounds. These distortions can lead to splits in our self-concept, where we disconnect our authentic selves and accept the ego's illusions as truth. Cultural norms also dictate what traits are deemed acceptable. In many Western cultures, success is equated with independence and strength, while vulnerability and failure are stigmatized. This societal pressure creates shadows that surface during moments of personal or collective crisis. When the COVID-19 pandemic forced people into isolation, many were confronted with unresolved emotions they'd previously numbed through distractions. The surge in anxiety and burnout during that period highlighted the collective shadow, fears of uncertainty, helplessness, and mortality. One of the core lessons from shamanic and Jungian approaches is that healing doesn't come from fixing the self, but from bearing witness. The shamanic process of holding space mirrors this philosophy. Rather than seeking to rescue or control, shamans act as compassionate witnesses, allowing participants to process their inner chaos without judgment. This non-interventionalist approach enables individuals to experience catharsis, transforming pain into resilience. In the words of a shamanic elder, "To heal is to die many small deaths, each one freeing you from a lie you once believed was true." To build upon the foundation of shadow work, we'll now focus how Kambo facilitates the release of trauma and strengthens our ability to trust ourselves again. Trauma often creates rigid narratives in the mind, stories that tell us we're unworthy, unsafe, or powerless. These beliefs become a default state when left unchallenged. Kambo's bioactive peptides are believed to trigger a state of physiological reset, purging toxins and promoting a shift in the nervous system. This shift can down-regulate the flight or fight response, allowing participants to step out of survival mode and enter a state of calm clarity. In this state, long-held memories of shame or fear can resurface without overwhelming the individual, providing an opportunity for observation rather than re-traumatization. The peptides in Kambo, such as phylomedeucin and dimorphin, have been linked to detoxification and mood regulation. Beyond their biological impact, these peptides metaphorically mirror the emotional purge that many experience. Participants often describe feeling a wave of release, not just physically, but emotionally, as if burdens they weren't even aware of have been lifted. This purging creates a sense of spaciousness in the mind, making room for new beliefs and self-narratives. One of the remarkable teachings of Kambo is that it reconnects people with their body's intelligence. In Western society, many have become disconnected from the wisdom of their physical being, relying solely on rational thought to navigate the world. Kambo reinforces the idea that the body holds memories and wisdom. By tuning in to the body's sensations, individuals can begin to interpret its messages. Whether it's the sensation of tension during an emotional realization or the lightness that follows a cathartic release, these bodily signals can guide deeper reflection. In shadow work, the parts of us that were exiled often long to be seen and trusted. When we reclaim these parts, we extend an invitation for vulnerability. But vulnerability requires safety, both internally and externally. Kambo can act as a gateway to experiencing vulnerability in a safe, ritualistic space, showing individuals they can survive the emotional waves they once feared would drown them. With this newfound resilience, they can begin to rebuild trust in their capacity to hold space for their own emotions. Engaging in shadow work alongside Kambo can be a deeply transformative experience, but it also presents challenges that require guidance. This is where working with a trained Kambo practitioner becomes invaluable. A skilled practitioner not only administers the medicine safely, but also holds space for emotional and spiritual release, ensuring the process is supported rather than overwhelming. Kambo ceremonies facilitated by experienced practitioners are structured to create a sense of safety and trust. This structure allows participants to surrender fully to the process, knowing that they are in capable hands. The practitioner monitors the participant's physical and emotional state, intervening when necessary with grounding techniques and reassurance. A skilled practitioner observes how participants move through their emotional waves, offering silence when needed and gentle reassurance during moments of emotional intensity. Immediately before a treatment, a well-trained practitioner can assist the participant by asking questions about their intentions so they can see what patterns they have within their shadow and understand their roots. Working in this way has been shown to be an extremely effective and powerful way to facilitate long-lasting, positive change. Each individual's journey with Kambo is unique. A practitioner's ability to recognize personal patterns of trauma and emotional resistance ensures that the approach is tailored. For some, the release may come in the form of grief or fear. For others, it might manifest as profound silence or visions. Recognizing these patterns helps guide participants through layers of resistance, so they remain present with what arises rather than disassociating or shutting down. Experienced practitioners know that deep shadow work benefits from a structured approach. They intuitively understand the flow of the process, creating a beginning phase to build trust, a middle phase where deep catharsis can occur, and a closing phase that helps participants return to themselves, grounded and empowered. This rhythm mirrors an internal journey where participants explore their inner truths with safety and structure. Without proper guidance, confronting repressed emotions can feel overwhelming. A practitioner can recognize when a participant is nearing their emotional threshold and offer grounding practices such as breath focus, somatic anchoring, or gentle tactile cues to ensure the release is paced and manageable. They may also offer postural adjustments or water intake to support physical and emotional balance during the process. By working with a trained Kambo practitioner, participants are better equipped to access deeper layers of shadow work while maintaining a sense of stability and self-compassion, The practitioner's role extends beyond administering medicine. It's about guiding participants to trust themselves, feel seen, and engage with their inner world without fear. Despite the growing interest in Kambo and shadow work, there are several misconceptions that can create fear or confusion about these practices. Addressing these myths help foster a clearer understanding of what participants can expect. Many people assume that Kambo's main purpose is to cleanse the body of toxins. While it is true that Kambo has profound effects on the physical body, this belief oversimplifies its deeper impact. Kambo ceremonies often lead to huge emotional releases, releasing suppressed memories and unprocessed emotions. The physical detox is only one aspect of a holistic experience that includes mental clarity and spiritual release. Shadow work is often misunderstood as confronting only the darker or undesirable aspects of the self, such as anger, jealousy, or fear. In reality, the shadow can also contain hidden strengths, forgotten dreams, and positive qualities that were repressed due to societal pressures or past trauma. A Kambo session can illuminate these exiled parts, helping participants rediscover their creativity, resilience, and capacity for love. A common misconception is that a single Kambo session will lead to immediate and complete healing. While participants may experience significant breakthroughs, true transformation often unfolds over time and requires intentional integration. Shadow work, supported by Kambo, is an ongoing journey that involves reflecting on insights and making conscious changes in daily life. Some believe that the intensity of the physical purge determines the effectiveness of the experience. While an intense purge can often indicate a significant release, Kambo's impact is not solely tied to how much someone purges. Some participants may not experience dramatic physical purges, but still undergo profound emotional and spiritual shifts, providing there is enough for the participant to be in the process of the treatment. The practitioner's role is to hold space for the participants to feel safe enough to release rather than forcing an outcome. A good practitioner will know when to intervene and when not to ensure the best possible outcome. It's often thought that shadow work is too overwhelming or painful to engage with, especially alongside Kambo. However, with proper guidance and support, shadow work can be a compassionate process of self-exploration rather than an overwhelming confrontation. Skilled practitioners create a safe space that helps participants approach their shadows gradually, ensuring that the process remains empowering rather than frightening. By addressing these myths and providing clarity, participants can approach Kambo and shadow work with realistic expectations and a sense of trust in the healing process. Dispelling misconceptions helps foster a deeper connection to the transformative potential of this sacred practice. The journey through Kambo and shadow work is not linear. It is a process of remembering, releasing, and reintegrating. As we've explored, Kambo acts as a catalyst that supports the deep introspection required for shadow work by quieting the mind, strengthening the body, and unveiling emotional truths. Shadow work, on the other hand, invites us to accept all aspects of ourselves, the light and the shadow, the forgotten strengths, and the unspoken fears. Ultimately, working with a skilled practitioner, engaging in integration practices, and dispelling misconceptions allows participants to walk this healing path with clarity and courage. Whether it's reclaiming self-trust, processing ancestral wounds, or rediscovering innate resilience, each step into the unknown brings us closer to authenticity and peace. If this video resonated with you, feel free to share your experiences or reflections in the comments below. And remember to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps grow this space for transformative healing.